Yo, what's good everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the ultimate guide into scalping meme coins and showing you exactly how I scalp and how I find entries on coins, where to get in and out of coins. A lot of you guys have been asking for this, especially because a lot of people make videos about trading meme coins, but they don't ever make videos about strategy, right? On how to do the strategy, because mindset is one important thing, right? Which a lot of people talk about, which I think is probably one of the most important things. But what is trading with a mindset that's good without a strategy, right? So I'm going to be breaking down my personal strategy, what's worked for me, and what I think can a lot of people can replicate, right? And also become profitable and learn from it, right? It doesn't have to be you don't have to replicate my strategy 100%, but you can take things from it that you find beneficial and implicate it into your own strategy. Because a lot of people talk about just the only new pairs, right? Like, oh, like wait for the tweet, which is, yes, it's very, very, very good, but it's also very, very, very high skill level. And yeah, like you're versing like DV, you're versing Cupsy, right? And I don't really recommend it for people that are like beginners. And with final stretch, any skill level can do this. And obviously the higher skill level, the more money you can make, the more intuition you have. So I'm going to be breaking down the best strategy I find for everyone that can replicate this, because new pairs takes a lot of time and a lot of skill to be able to learn and also replicate, right? Because also, not just that, the risk on new pairs is very, very high, because a lot of these devs will be deving, especially the scraper bots. Like when Elon tweets, they'll buy with like 5 or 10 SOL, which is absolutely absurd, right? And there will only be one of those coins that send, and it might not be the first one, right? Because it could be spelt wrong. So this is something new pairs is a skill that everybody should eventually learn. I'm not saying that it's not, but I would highly recommend starting with final stretch and migrated, because you have a little bit more time. There's a little bit more. It's not as super ultra fast pace as, new pairs, right? And final stretch and migrated, but you also want to be having high volume coins, right? Or coins that have good volume, good narrative, all this stuff, which I'm going to be breaking down. So let's get started. Let's look at this first coin that we see, ATH chat. Now, this coin looks like maybe like an AI coin, your tokens, your community. So probably like an AI tech coin. Now, with scalping, you typically want to stay away from like these kind of AI coins or whatever, because like 80% of them are like LARP. So LARP is just fake, right? The dev is just trying to fake it, trying to fake the tech. Maybe he makes it with AI or something. Yeah, like these are just a lot higher risk, just because they can go down in one candle in like 1 second, right? Now, the tech coins can go like absolutely insane if they're real, but it's just a very, very, very like high risk thing, because if this dev sells, like in 1 second, it will go down. Versus like if a dev sells on just like a random meme coin, then it's actually bullish, right? And the meme coins are run by communities. This one is solely dependent on a dev, right? So it react on the coin, whether that's buying a dip or whether that's selling, right? Like you don't have to like be instant 1 second in and out. But technically with scalping, yes, you're in and out of these really quick. Like my average hold time is probably like anywhere from like 5 second, 10 second into like, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. It just depends on the coin, right? Which I'm going to be explaining. So what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for entries, right? Now I've broken down, like I can show you guys like some basic technical analysis that you can use just so you can visualize it. For me, I don't really like draw on the charts. I only do that when I'm like making videos to explain it to you guys, because all of this is like in my I guess mental intuition. Like I've already seen the chart too many times, so I know what entries are, but I'm just going to break it down. So if you guys don't know already, resistance is going to be where the price has tried to break, and where it's usually like a psychological level. So if a coin is a resistance on migration, you've seen coins that get super close to migrating and they just start dumping. It's because there's a lot of sell pressure up there, and yeah, people are looking to take profits there. You guys have thought to yourself like, oh, I want to sell this coin when it hits migration. Well, everybody else thinks that too, right? Like it's called human nature, and you can implicate human nature with everything. So this is where you need to be like, okay, if you set your stop loss before migration, a little bit before, then it's probably going to get hit and you're going to be good, right? So you got to think like how other people are trading, and you got to be able to exploit that in a way of like, how do I word it? You basically need to like try to front run them, right? On everything. So we can easily see here, right? This coin try to break 20K, which is another psychological level. So I'm going to draw a line there just so you guys can visualize it. Now, like guys, I'm going to be like, I keep mentioning this like every time I talk about this. Like don't be like like, oh, he's running technical analysis on Memecoin, because it's not really about that. You need to combine strategy, and you need to combine like your own human intuition. Like I said, if the coin was always hitting its like, what's the word, like RSI level or like support level or whatever, then a bot could do it, right? Literally, like a brain dead person could be like, oh, it hit the level, now it's time to buy, right? Just like all the forex people that are like, oh, like it had the bullish like John Cena candle. That means it's, bro, my line. I'm getting OCD. I need it to be straight. All right, perfect. There we go. It's straight enough. So another like level was like 40K to 50K. 50K is a really strong like resistance level, especially migration, and 100K. So if you've seen those coins that have broken 100K, they go absolutely, like, they start flying sometimes, right? But like sometimes you'll see like at 90K, 80K, and it just struggles, and then eventually comes all the way back down to 60, 50K to try to find liquidity or just to find support, right? Where its previous support was. So we could see this coin, it tried to break it multiple times. So typically when coins struggle like this to break its resistance level, then people get bearish, or they start to sell, right? Because it's not a good sign on the coin. Like, let me find like a good example. It's like you trying to start your car like and then it doesn't turn on. So you do that a second or third time, and you probably think your engine's cooked. So the same goes with people in meme coins, or any chart in general, whether it's oil or it's like, the stock market, whatever, right? Like, that's just what people think. But meme coins, it's more volatile. So technical analysis doesn't always apply. It's more likely applies to bigger market cap coins, right? Like 100K, 500K, a million plus. So you can see after it rejected this, like first time, second time, third time, people just were like, okay, like it can't break this. So people are going to sell. They're going to panic, right? They're like, okay, this coin is it's not worth over 20K, right? Because it's priced in. So it comes all the way down to perfectly like almost 10K, which is like a support, which we see it's supported back down here, right here, perfect, right? And like, I don't really like, I see these things without having to draw them out. I'm just drawing them because there's a lot of different people that have been watching my videos. There's like intermediate people, there's advanced people, there's a lot of beginners as well. And like, I welcome everybody to watch the whole video, because I mean, there's always stuff to learn. Even if you're advanced or intermediate, there's always new stuff to learn. And yeah, I mean, that's how you become a good trader, is you're always learning. Even the advanced traders, right, are always learning. They're always finding new alpha. So yeah, you could see this is bounced off of it. So this is a solid support. It bounced off like what, 1, 2, 3 times. You could technically say 4, but that was just like a one dip and it came back up. So like 3 times. So this was its range. You don't really want to be buying in ranges like in the middle of it. You want to be buying on like the bottom of the range, whether that's like the support. Because if it breaks support at like 9K or 10K, then you can just try to get out as quickly as you can, because then it's going to basically go to zero. But you could see it held here, and as soon as it broke, right? So it came back down. As soon as it broke, you could see this line, it finally broke, then the price is going to start shooting up, right? Because it broke its like level. Now, let's see where it's at. 56K now. It went up to 66, so bonding curve. So yeah, now this is probably going to range a little bit, right? So we could even draw a range from like 48 from its low here, like a one here to one here, right? So you don't really want to be buying on ranges. Like, sure, it could break or it could go back down. What you're looking for is you're going to be looking for an entry, right? So like, what would be an entry on this coin? So first of all, we need to look at what the coin is first of all, right? I'm just basically breaking down like the coin and everything. So you got to look at bundlers. I've already made a video on how to look at bundlers. So you're going to look at the communities, and we're like, okay, 31 members. Have they paid DEX yet? Has anybody talked about paying DEX? Okay, pay DEX after bond and it'll send. So people are saying like maybe they'll pay DEX on after bonding curve, right? Now, one really solid support I see is around at 40K here, like around 37 to be like exact, I guess. But you could see it's stayed here, and that would be like maybe your good entry, or 40K maybe, because if you buy it like 49 or 50, like sure 50 technically, yeah, it is a support, but it's kind of ranging in here, so it could quite easily break that. And I mean, like, I know I'm talking a lot about TA right now, or just like Memecoin TA, or how I visualize it. So like, let me move past that and kind of talk more about community, because I have to add both of these together in order for this to work. Because like I said, a bot could do it if it was just one easy thing. So one thing I like to look at is going to be pro traders. This does not mean they're pros, guys. It just means they're like real traders that maybe make a little bit of money or break even, right? It just means they're kind of real traders, real people that trade on a platform. If there's really low pro traders to holder ratio, then it's most likely botted and fake. So don't buy into those coins. Very good indicator. Also like to look at bundles. I like to look at bubble maps, and I like to do all my checks that I usually do on coins. And I like to see if the community is active, right? Because these are the coins that I like to scalp, communities or just memes. So if we pay DEX and migrate, it's a free win. So people are still posting 4 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago, which is good, right? You need to be paying attention and making sure people are talking, and also the creator of this coin, right? Because these community coins are also a little bit dependent on the admin. So see if Goku's tweeted anything yet lately. So he tweeted 26 minutes ago. It looks like he hasn't really said that much. So this is more community ran. But like I said, right, it's kind of ranging. So it bounced off of this last thing I said, right, at 48. So like this is like a little bit of a support, but it could quite easily break past it, especially if the sentiment here, if the people start like getting bearish, right? They just are like, oh, it's not going to migrate anymore. You guys can't let it migrate. Then it looks like it almost broke its high. If it does, then it actually might go to migration, right? Also, one thing too that I like to touch up on is a lot of these coins, you'll see them bond, and they just start getting completely cooked, right? Because it's the migration sell-off, which that also gives you an opportunity to enter into a dip, right? Buy the dip opportunity, wait for a 40 to 60% dip, and then enter in. Because if it's anything more than that, it could just low-key be a rug. So that's why I'm saying like anywhere like 40 to 60%. If it's like 20% dip, it's not really a dip. It could just be within range. So yeah, let me break down a little bit more of like how I'm like visualizing the coin. So one thing I like to look at is also the volume. So the volume's still good, right? If you start seeing the volume starting to slowly die out, that means the coin is dying. That means people are just starting to like not care about this. This is kind of ranging. It's starting to begin a downtrend, if you guys can see that. So it just broke its support here, just barely. Let's see if it can come back up. Nope. So it just broke, right? So you guys could have got out there. And then maybe look for an entry at like 30. Like I feel like 30 would be good, or 20. So let me draw the line right here, 30. And you could totally DCA too, right? Like that's like the whole point. So let's see why it's going down, because it's obviously something with the people, or people are just getting bearish. So as you can see, it's kind of struggling, but it's still holding the support at 30K. So we could see if it comes back up. And you have to look at risk to reward, right? Like where you're gonna probably get out. If it goes past 25, then you could just get out. But right now you're already up like 10, 15% from your entry where I drew it. And we'll just see like what it does. And now I gotta investigate why it's dumping. So Goku posted what useful to the moon, nothing less. The chart is strong. Okay, so people are sort of posting, but it's a little bit bearish, right? And also if you guys don't start seeing strength, like if it really start coming back up to like 40, like in this sense 40K, or coming back up a little bit more, then get out of your like just get out, because typically it's going to be going down. But just give it a second to breathe at least. But you know, you need to be in and out of these trades. So where I'd be looking to exit at maybe like 40 to 45K, right, on this scalp, because sure, like hypothetically, yes, like it could possibly bond again. Or like whatever, right? We're not like with this strategy, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's all about stacking consistent wins. It's super, super, super important. So like every line I've drawn is like perfect, right? Like it's sometimes satisfying to visualize it. But yeah, like this coin is kind of slowly moving. So I'd honestly be looking to get out around here. And you're not going for like crazy massive gains, right? Someone might buy 5 SOL right now and it could start going back up. But like this is still a pretty good scalp, right? You're like 30%, 20% scalp, and then you move on to the next coin. The reason why I would have sold there possibly is just because like the volume, the buys are just kind of a little bit slower than I like. If it goes down like this, and then you guys see those candles that get eaten up, like this candle, it got eaten up really quickly. This one's taking a little bit slower, right? And then sometimes it goes like this and it comes back and tests the support. And then in some cases it goes back down, right? It might find 20K or 15K. But I mean, yeah, like maybe someone could blast 5 SOL, but I mean, like selling right here wouldn't have been an issue, right? You take 30% off, 30%, or you could just take initials or just a 50%er. And then if you do like the coin, if someone's saying they're going to pay DEX or whatever the case is, then you could get back into it. But there needs to always be a catalyst, right? There needs to be something in order to move it forward, because it needs to be priced in, right? If it's not being priced in, like let's say like say someone's going to pay Dex and people are pricing it in, right? They're going to, okay, if someone's going to pay Dex, by the time Dex is paid, it could go up to here. And people, if there's nothing there to price in, then it's going to be priced out, right? So like a resistance for this coin is going to be at 50K. So if you were looking to sell, like I said, at 40 to 50K, whatever, then yeah, maybe get out at 50K right before, because there could be sell pressure again. It could struggle at 50K until it finally breaks out, because we've seen it resistance, 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 or support, right? Whatever side you're looking at the chart. Now, if it breaks past 50K, then it has a little bit more room to breathe, and it can come finally test its previous high, or its last all-time high, which is at 70. And if it can finally break 70, right, this last all-time high, then it's so close to migration that there's a very high chance that it migrates. So this is kind of how I'm visualizing the coin. It's always a good sign when they're paying Dex. So you could use an app, or you could use a website like dexpaid.com, right? Just go on Google and then put the CA in. By far, if you use Axiom or Padre, it's already going to update automatically when there is the Dex paid. And we can also look at the holders. So like 3%, the holder distribution seems pretty good to me. Like you don't want to see anything like 4 or 5% holders. So let's look at the magic nodes. I mean, the coin looks pretty good from what I'm seeing. It's not super bundled. I can also look at Inside X. Let's see. Boom, boom. Okay, I mean, honestly, the coin looks pretty decent considering bundles, because a lot of these community coins are super bundled. But yeah, it might just range in here for a little while. Like you guys have seen, like the coins range a little bit and then they finally die out and then start getting caballed again and go back up from the floor. But if this is able to break past finally, let's see if the Autism Capital, let's see, they just tweeted something. Is there any coin about that? About what's her name? Whatever that chick's name was. Looks like there's not. But yeah, I mean, just there's tons and tons of money to be made in here. It's just a lot of people don't have strategy, so that's what I'm trying to help you guys with in this video is finding strategy, showing you guys like how I get into coins or how I see coins, right? Because I'm trying to change the way that you guys view meme coins in general, because everybody makes it like look super easy, which realistically it's not like mega hard, but it's like you need to have strategy and you need to also have the mental frame, right? Because there's two sides to the book, right? And once you can master both of those, then you're going to be a very well-rounded trader. So that's what I wanted to break down in this video. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, feel free to join. It's free. And if you guys are interested in VIP, join as well. If you have any questions about it, DM me. I do one-on-ones, like I said, and I'm adding some really great tools in there, which usually costs like $1,000 or $2,000 like a month to keep up. But you're gonna, I mean, it's only like what, like 75 if you're in VIP, and you get like, it's just like it's like a super good deal. And honestly, I mean, that's what I wish I had when I was learning meme coins, because I would have saved myself a lot of money and a lot of time, because time is money. So would you rather learn meme coins in 6 months, or would you rather learn it in like 2 months, right? So highly recommend that. And yeah, if you guys aren't using a trading platform, use Axiom or use Padre. Everything's linked in the Discord and in the description of this video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.